This is all after Aubameyang was also dropped for disciplinary reasons in the March, I think it was, missing the win over rival Spurs for a breach of pre-match protocol. Ray, we've not had a chance to hear your views on it, mate. What's your take on it?
Well, certainly I think it was the right move for Arteta to do what he did. The problem is there's a lot of young players in that squad. If you go through the players, Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard, right across the team, there's a lot of young players, and they'll be looking up to their skipper. And if you'll be turning up late or for training, we don't know the reasons why he was late, but it's a situation where you've got to put your authority there and say, look, no one's bigger than the team and the club. The rules are the rules. You have to stick by them. So I think it was the right decision. I'm with a lot of the guys I've just heard there. I mean, I don't know how he got the skipper's armband in the first place. I know he's a great, very, very good striker and he's got a great record at Arsenal. But will he be a leader? Probably not. And it's up to the manager to find that leader. Now, he sees them day-to-day training and he can see the people who are pushing people in training and demanding a little bit more out of each other. And because that's what it's all about, and that's what we had in our teams. I mean, you always have a skipper, only one skipper, but you've got to have them all around the pitch for me. And I think Arsene Wenger had that in our squads. We had, but who would I have skipper? I think I'd listen to you this morning. I'm definitely with you, Ali. I think Tierney is a guy that you can see the when he puts that Arsenal shirt, he really does as much as he can to help the team, being an influence in that team as well. Because in an ideal world, if Ramsdale was centre half, he'd get it straight away. Because he's been absolutely sensational. And look, you can have a skipper as a goalkeeper. Lloris has been skipper for Spurs, and Bemba the old Dino's off, and people like that. Yeah. But for ideal wise, you want him out on the pitch because there's a problem in that far corner, and you need a captain to calm things down. You can't have the goalkeeper running up and sorting a problem out. So again, it's up to Aubameyang now. I think Ali hit the nail on the head earlier by saying, look, it's all about his attitude. What he does now is the next most important thing for Aubameyang. Whether he wants to stay at Arsenal and fight for his position, he's got to. If I was Aubameyang, I'll be saying to Mikel Arteta, like, the next meeting we have, can I mention a few words at the end? And then apologise to your teammate. Sorry, I was late. Shouldn't be happening as a skipper. I've been obviously docked on my skipper's armband now. It's going to go to someone else, but I'm going to fight for my position and try and get back into the side. And it's all about hard work. Then it's all about on that training field, seeing the desire for him to try and get back into that training, into the team.
Right. There's some fans that
if he goes the other way, Laura,
if
he goes the other way and he starts sulking and suddenly the training goes downhill, which can happen if you're a player. Then he will be out of the team very quickly and out of the squad, and probably try and sell him. The problem Arsenal are going to have, very similar to Mesut Ozil. He's on massive money. Who's going to pay that money? Barcelona has been mentioned, but will they give him that sort of money as wages when they're in? I can't see it myself. But
well, do you know something, Ray? I please excuse me because I lost you there for about 10-15 seconds. I don't know whether you mentioned it. I said to Woodsy earlier on, and I don't know if you heard it in the car coming in, I think the next month for Aubameyang is absolutely vital.
Yes,
mate.
Yeah.
It really is vital. I mean, I think effectively his Arsenal career's on the line here, depending on his reaction to being asked to the captaincy. If he does the right thing, and clearly if he wants to stay, he rolls his sleeves up and says, right, I'm going to have to make up for kind of my misdemeanour there. I need to show the boys in training and show the boys in the games that I mean business. And if he doesn't, I think he's got to sell him.
Absolutely. There's only one option then. But I just said, when I lost you, Ali, he's got to probably go up to Mikel Arteta and say, the next meeting we have, because they're having meetings all the time, can I have a little few words at the end? And now, if he wants to stay at Arsenal Football Club and fight for his position, then he stands up at the end of the meeting and says, look, I'm really sorry, guys. I was late. I shouldn't have been. I've lost my captaincy, but I'm going to really work hard now and try and get back in this side and help everybody. Mm-hmm. And that will be a brilliant moment for Mikel Arteta, because sometimes that can bring the squad even closer together. Or he goes the other way and you start sulking and his training goes downhill and suddenly that's when there's no comeback for him. And then you have to try and get rid of him. But the problem is, Ali, who's going to take Aubameyang? It might come down to Arsenal maybe have to pay some of his wages again, like they do with Mesut Ozil.
Well, Ray, 18 months ago you probably had a cure clubs want to take him. but because let's be honest about it, because of current form and the one or two misdemeanours, because coaches and managers do look and say, well, do I really want somebody like that in my squad?
Yeah.
You know, he's going to be late. So
form, age, wages,
I
everything.
think that some players get a little bit more leeway than others, Ali. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
I go back to the air. If you're performing week in, week out, and scoring goals for fun, we had Ian Wright, and Ian Wright was always a little bit. But George Graham would let him get away a little bit more than others.
Yeah.
But you know, on a Saturday, he scored you 2 goals.
Yeah.
You don't want to be falling out with Ian Wright if you can help it. Where I go back to Sir Alex Ferguson, Eric Cantona.
Correct.
You know, he got away with a little bit more, well, a lot more probably, than some of the other guys in that dressing room. But what a player. So it's knowing your players and
man management.
And if you're doing the business at the weekends, which, if you've been honest, Aubameyang hasn't for quite a while now, he's been off form, then you might get away with a little bit more than others. But you still got to show that being a skipper, you know, you've got to be on time because, as I said before, young players will be looking up to Aubameyang and saying, look, he's the captain of the club. If he doesn't turn up for training, is it all right if I don't turn up sometimes?
Yeah.
Or I can be late at sometimes, and that's what you can't have going into that squad. Then it gets a little bit. So Mikel Arteta's done the right move to say, no, I'm not having this. And this is what happens if you are late and you don't respect the rules that I'm giving. This is what happens. You get dropped and you won't play.
Let me talk to you about the last 9 captains at Arsenal. So this is dating back
I've even been captain at Arsenal.
Well, this doesn't go that far back.
How desperate they are.
This one goes back to Willie Gallas. So stripped of captaincy for giving interview in criticising his teammates. Then it was Cesc Fabregas, forced an exit to join Barcelona. Then Robin Van Persie did it, forced an exit to join Manchester United. But Marlon and Arteta both were injured for the majority of their tenure. Per Mertesacker was also injured for a lot of his tenure as captain. Then Laurent Koscielny went on strike to join Bordeaux. And Granit Xhaka was stripped of the captaincy for rants at fans.
Yeah.
And then it takes you to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Well, before that, they was very, very lucky, Arsenal. They had 2 unbelievable skippers. Tony Adams from back in the day. When he was a young man, he was 21, I think, when he got the armband. And obviously, longevity, he stayed all his career. So he's going to stay being captain. And then Patrick Vieira, he was captain for quite a few years as well. And he was a fantastic captain. So it's a really difficult one. And suddenly, as you mentioned now, they've had so many different captains because times have changed a little bit because people don't stay at clubs as long as people like John Terry's and Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira's and them sort of guys. So times have changed. People do move on. Very rarely you get a one-club man now. You, during your career, you'll certainly move on financially. You get a better deal and things like that. But there is a problem, I must admit, knowing that who your captain is. But it's down to the manager to see, as I said before, the characters in training. You know exactly the leaders in the pack. If you're working with them every day, it's quite easy to see, you know, the leaders.
Yeah.
Who's you know
who's got the character.
Yeah, who's got the character, and it's down to Mikel Arteta to pick the right man then.
Okay, well said.
But I would have had Tierney.
You would have had Tierney.
Yeah, definitely.